Well, this is supposed to be a tape recording to the troops all over everywhere. A little talk on running the restaurant, a little talk on what we've got coming and everything in general. I think first of all, fellas, that you should hear a little bit about what we've done up in Vancouver. We opened it, of course, I think, what was it, the 21st, to first of the month, 17th, anyhow, it's open. It's a lovely restaurant. You've got a picture along with this tape of the restaurant, so you know what it looks like. It's on the same order as our restaurants on the inside. The ceilings are high, like in the Maori room in New York. We're doing about the same thing in Puerto Rico. It's got its own entrance. You don't have to go to the hotel unless you want to. It's got a hotel entrance as well as our own entrance, you can see by the picture. The food is about the same menu that we serve along the Pacific Coast in Chicago and in New York. There's no change in that. The manager, Helmut Petrak, that you met, is doing a grand job. I think he's going to be very successful in his work with us there. He's got himself a tremendous crew, and he should get his thing in shape pretty quick. I don't know anything else to tell you about the Vancouver restaurant. There's an unfortunate thing for us, but I suppose you should know about it. We serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast is now being served inside the restaurant, and that's a little difficult. However, we're building a new room for breakfast and lunch as far as the hotel is concerned. In other words, right now the hotel guests have to come down in the restaurant, and sometimes when it's full, the hotel guests are a little inconvenienced. But we're building a new room out in the garden on the other side of this building, and that'll be for the hotel guests for dinner as well as for breakfast. And it'll overlook the swimming pool. It'll be a very delightful place. Overlooks the bay, and it's going to be very charming, built on the idea of a little Japanese tea house raised up off the floor, and it'll be very interesting. Now, I think we ought to talk a little bit about our restaurants in general, the new items of food, the waiters, the captains, and the service in general, of what I've observed in the last few trips. I think that you fellas can really pay a little more attention to your managers as far as service is concerned. You're doing a nice job, but you're still not keeping your eyes open when a customer's got something wrong with his food. It's too hard for the customer to find the waiter. The captain seems to look over the room, but he looks at the decorations sometime. He doesn't see the customer that might want a little bit of service. I think you fellas ought to watch your room in general at the customer level, where the customer's looking, not above them or over the top of them or something else like you're in a pipe dream. I'm not saying that all of you fellas take this attitude. That's not true. But some of you fellas have gotten the idea that you've been trained a few months and you're waiters. Captains have been trained a few months and they're captains. I had a chance to have to go to London and Paris early this year. And it was just fantastic to see the service and to receive the service that Mrs. Bergeron and I got in the various restaurants where we ate. And I'm not just saying one restaurant or two restaurants, but I mean all restaurants. And when you think of the training that these men go through to become captains and waiters, well, it's just fantastic. It takes years and years of training. So nobody can tell me that a fella can be a waiter be made a waiter in 3 or 4 months and be an expert waiter or a captain. It just isn't in the cards, no matter how damn smart you are. You've got to learn to be attentive, not fall all over the customer, which they don't do, but they just seem to anticipate or when you're going to be in trouble with something, or whether something is wrong, or when they present a dish to you and you ask them a question about the dish. They know all about the preparation of it. They know what goes into it. They know how the sauce is made. They know everything about the dish. Now, it's easy enough for you fellas to know what chicken ramen, chow mein, and the Chinese dishes are, but when it comes to the continental dishes, I'm afraid that you fall down pretty badly. You just don't know the basic knowledge of what goes into the dish. And I'd suggest that you take time out, not all at one time, but when you're in the kitchen and you've got a few minutes, talk to the cooks, talk to the fellows who do this thing, talk to the fellows who know, so that when a customer asks you about sole vefour or sole maximes or another dish or the peach blossom duck, you can damn near tell them exactly how it's made and what it's all about. And that's very important. It's very important for 2 reasons especially. One, you get a very satisfied customer when he's talked to intelligently, and that makes a good customer for our restaurant, helps us out. And 2, the customer says, Jesus, this captain's on his toes. He knows what the hell he's doing. I'm going to leave him a little dollar. And it's going to help you out considerable. But you can't expect a man to tip you when you really haven't done anything for him. You've taken his order. What the hell? A waiter could do that. But if you show some effort when you sell a man a limestone lettuce or some special little salad or some special little thing, try to tell him a little bit about the dish. But be sure you're right, because Jesus, he's liable to come up with a bunch of stuff and nail you to the cross and cause you a lot of embarrassment, you know? And that's something. Then again, there's neatness. One of the things that maybe the managers overlook sometimes, but I was in one of the restaurants just recently, and I guess there was a fellow there that hadn't bathed for a couple of days, and Jesus, he smelled just dandy. He smelled like a bucket of sweat. Well, that's not nice. Hell, you know what you're doing. You're waiting on people and they're having dinner, and they don't want to, if you smell anything like perspiration or uncleanliness. The thing is your coats and your general appearances. If a customer sees something that's untidy, he immediately thinks that the whole place is untidy, and that's bad. Your chafing dishes, everything, all your tools that you work with, all these things have to be exceptionally clean and attractive to people so that they're pleasantly surprised in the anticipation of the thing they're going to have, which is a good dinner. I'd watch that the presentation of the dish, the captains especially, and the waiters. If the dish isn't nicely prepared, and you know how it should look, I think you should call attention to the captain, and he should call attention to the kitchen. I don't think the waiter should run into the kitchen and give the chef hell because he's going to get sore. Let the captain talk it over and see what comes up that way. I think it's very important. Now, for your general information, just to get away from this bunch of junk I've been feeding you kids right now, let's talk about the new restaurants. We had a meeting in New York last week, And we're going to open the Washington restaurant first. That will be opened on June the 15th. 30 days later, we open the one in Puerto Rico. That's July the 15th. And in about a year and a half to 2 years, we'll open the London restaurant. And that, of course, is going to be a lot of fun. These people have got good service over there, good food. We'll have to go like hell to do better. But if I know my outfit, we'll do better. How? That's, of course, training's going to bring that out. Everybody's heard about the Phoenix thing. We've been trying to put this Phoenix deal together now for maybe 6 months. The license is a tough situation down there. They get $60,000 for license that cost them $200,000. And we're not about to pay them a lot of money for these licenses, because I don't think it's practical and I don't think it's just. So we'll walk along and take it easy, and maybe we'll get a license of our own. You never can tell, but we're trying. Now, about getting back again to food items. These new dishes that we come out with from time to time, the only reason we do this is to get out of the rut of being stale and selling the same old junk. You know yourself that selling the same old thing is no fun. But a change of pace is a great thing for the restaurant, and the customers anticipate it, both in drinks and in food. If you sell food to these people that they can't get anywhere else, when they think of a meal, they're going to think of Trader Vic's. Come back here and have something interesting, something different. So I think that you should do as much as you can to see that you completely change and grow and increase your ability to sell different things instead of maybe concentrating just on the Chinese food and just on the few specialties that you know. Help us out. The only way we can afford to run these restaurants is by your help. And that's the important part. We're willing to do our job, but it's really up to the selling end of this outfit to do a job, make our restaurants famous. We can't make the restaurants famous. We can have the best damn food in the country, and if we can't sell it, it isn't worth a damn. It's up to you fellas to do it. So if you'll cooperate with us in merchandising, selling the specialties that the managers want you to sell, put forth your effort, watch your service, see if you can increase your efficiency, we'll go for a better restaurant, and we'll go for more business, which means more money in your pocket. We'll furnish you with the tools. It's up to you fellas to deliver the goods. I'll talk to you again very shortly. Glad that you were in here to listen to this thing, and thanks very much.